Hey guys, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, but I wanted to create this video because it's about a topic that's really important to me. It's actually about poetry and neuroscience because, well, poetry isn't just art; it's neuroscience. It literally rewires the brain, the parts that we ignore in everyday life. I think most people think poetry is just emotional expression or creative writing, or maybe even something you studied in school but never touched again. But here's the interesting truth, though: poetry activates more of the brain simultaneously than almost any other form of language. It's like neurological cross training. And here's what actually happens: poetry activates both hemispheres, not just one. Regular speech is mostly left hemispheric dominant, logic, language, syntax, sequence. But poetry, man, it hits the right hemisphere like a lightning strike. Metaphor, symbolism, imagery, emotional tone, intuition, and spatial meaning. Think about it. When you read or hear poetry, the corpus callosum lights up. This is the bridge between the hemispheres. And it forces integration, it forces unity, it forces the brain to think as one organism, not in fragments. I think this is why poetry feels like truth, even when you can't explain why. And poetry is also metaphor. Metaphor is one of the brain's oldest processing tools. Research by Dr. George Lakoff and Mark Johnson showed that metaphor is how the brain structures reality. It compresses complex meaning into single symbolic units. For example, he carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. Right? No explanation needed. Our emotional brain understands instantly the meaning. Poetry uses metaphors to collapse complex complexity into clarity. So, in other words, poetry bypasses the prefrontal cortex and delivers truth directly to the emotional and intuitive brain. Poetry also activates the default mode network. And if you remember, the default mode network is involved in identity formation, memory retrieval, empathy, meaning making, self reflection. So when you hear a poem, especially one that resonates, the default mode network turns on. Poetry literally helps the brain organize the self. It's like identity architecture. This is why one line of poetry can hit harder than 200 pages of explanation. Poetry also stimulates the insula, which is the seat of felt meaning. A study in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience found that when people read passages of poetry that moved them, the insula lit up. The same region involved in gut feelings, empathy, moral intuition, emotional intelligence. I think this is why poetry feels like being seen. It activates a circuit that tells you, pay attention, this matters. Poetry also regulates the nervous system. The rhythm of poetry, even free verse, has a very interesting regulatory effect. It mimics breath,